2014, produced by Nickelodeon Movies and distributed by Paramount Pictures, was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The premise of the film had the Turtles and April O'Neil against the Shredder. What separated this film from other adaptations were at the time it had a massive amount of controversies about it. The film was announced shortly before Mirage Studios sold the rights to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles based characters as well as the franchise in 2009. The concept was to bring about a new franchise with focus on film-based media. Concerns that the last true feature film adaptation of the Turtles was with the 1993's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, which had concluded a trilogy which started in 1990. While the three films had their faults, they were generally respected by international audiences at the time as well as since for their comedy, originality, as well as carefree premise. The concept was to make the Turtles somewhat more serious than what they were originally known as, from the casual theater audience perceptions of them prior to the film's development. There were criticisms that the Turtles would be changed too much to fit into the modern American film environment of the 2010s. Robbie Rist, who was the actor to voice Michelangelo in the original trilogy, made public claims of criticisms against the film, as well as the changes that were being made to the characters in the adaptation for the casual film audience. In order not to confuse, the film would be simply called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, as longtime fans as well as avid comic readers complained at the changes for the film. Further criticisms came from information stating that co-creator Peter Laird expressed optimism that the changes would be potentially good for the film as well as a possible franchise, as he was under the impression that the proposed changes would have been better for audiences to potentially understand, as well as the concept of an alien planet inhabited by human-like turtle beings, which would have been a clever idea. He later admitted that the film didn't have a real place within valid Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle canon. As criticisms of the film mounted among the community, producers of the film released statements mentioning that it was of course from their points of view, but attempted to reassure fans that the adaptation of the characters would have been something that loyal fans as well as casual viewers would quote-unquote love from a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Theories hold the visual appearances of the Turtles being the way they were depicted due in part as a response to the Marvel Studios films released around the same time, and the traits or features of the Turtles would have been seen as casual similarities. Sources mention that the film had a worldwide total of ticket sales in roughly $493 million from a budget of roughly $125 million. Further sources mention that with all of the costs and expenses relating to the film, that the only technical profit made from it to the studios was $81 million. Despite reactions to the film being negative from audiences, a sequel was rushed into production, released in 2016, being that of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. Once again, the premise of the script and the details of change for the Turtles promoted widespread criticisms by longtime fans as well as film audiences, due to executives promising the first film would be, quote, loyal to the source material, but were in fact massive changes to try and appeal to broader bases of film audiences. The film had a worldwide total of ticket sales in roughly $245 million from a budget of roughly $135 million. Originally, Nickelodeon and Paramount had a 3-film franchise agreement, but due to the overwhelmingly poor critic as well as audience reactions to the films, it was cancelled. A character can be overrated yet hated because some thought updated versions of classic characters would have been preferred when they overwhelmingly weren't.